What's going on, guys? It's Clutch Plays here, and I am finally back to talk some Knicks basketball. I'll get into why I haven't uploaded for over 2 weeks now at the end of the video because I owe you guys an explanation, but this week has been pretty crazy regarding the Knicks as a whole. To begin, the Knicks have come out and said that they have absolutely no plans of trading Marcus Morris, which makes no sense. He's super old, injury prone, and on a 1-year deal, so we would have to re-sign him for a lot of money to keep him, and I'll get more into why he needs to be traded later on in the video. But another report came out and said that the 11-29 Knicks are planning on being buyers rather than sellers at the trade deadline. I'm flabbergasted and feel deceived by the front office because this is completely going off the plan that they preached to us by saying that they wouldn't take any shortcuts.
I think we're asking them to continue to be patient. We laid out a plan when Scott came on board and then David joined us that we were going to build this team the right way. We were going to draft well, and we were going to be diligent about how we built this team and not take any shortcuts and not follow a path. And
at first, this report seemed a bit questionable, but after seeing the Knicks were in serious conversations about trading for Andre Drummond, I lost all hope and just felt defeated. This trade makes no sense on so many different levels, but especially because our best young player, Mitchell Robinson, is supposed to be our center for the future. The Knicks may be the one team in the NBA who should avoid trading for Andre Drummond the most, but Dumb and Dumber are up in the front office trying to save their jobs instead of doing what's best for the team. However, throughout all this deception and stupidity from the front office, they are still opposed to trading away future first-round picks, which is a good sign, I guess. Even though everything seems negative right now, the Knicks have a pretty rough schedule coming up and could easily lose 3 or 4 of their next 5 games, which could significantly sway the front office to trade for future picks and young players. Also, I find it extremely hard to believe that an NBA front office is so stupid to think that trading away future assets and young players for a max level star player when your team is 11-29 will fix everything. If this happens, I will literally get a Steve Mills customized Knicks jersey and burn it. Mark my words. Maybe a Steve Mills customized Nets jersey, because I don't know if I really want to burn a Knicks jersey. In this video, I'm going to be going over everything that the Knicks should do leading up to the trade deadline, whether it's trading someone, signing a player, or benching/playing certain players on the Knicks. And no, I'm not going to come out and say fire Steve Mills or Dolan should sell the team, because that's basically a known fact among every Knicks fan, but it's most likely not going to happen before the trade deadline. So with that said, let's hop right into the Knicks' ideal trade deadline. Number 1, play the veterans tons of minutes in the next few games. The trade deadline is on February 6th, but in the meantime, we need to make sure we play all our veterans that we are looking to trade. This will significantly raise their value on the market because teams will see how good they really are when they play. When players are put on the trade block or benched, their value significantly decreases, like for example, Allonzo. We could have easily gotten a late first/early second round pick for him last year or at the beginning of the year this season, but now that he's been benched for the majority of the season, his value on the market is probably going to be a late second round pick, maybe not even. In these next games leading up to the deadline, the Knicks need to make it a priority to play the players who they plan to trade to boost their trade value. Number 2, trade Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris is 30 years old and will be turning 31 years old before the start of next season. Up on the screen here are all the injuries he has had just in the past 3 seasons, and these are not illnesses or one-time injuries, but mostly knee injuries. Knee injuries linger and will affect him later in his career, and it is not a smart move giving Marcus Morris a 3 to 4 year contract for about $20 million annually, which is what he's going to be asking for. He's so clutch and has completely overperformed for the Knicks this year, but paying a 31-year-old injury-prone player $20+ million a year is idiotic. On top of this, in the past 4 games, RJ has played much better, and in all these games, Marcus Morris has been hurt. This isn't really just a coincidence, because these are some of the other games where RJ has played, but Marcus Morris has not. I'm not saying that the Knicks are better off without Marcus Morris. They aren't nearly as bad as some people think, and RJ plays much better too when he's not in the lineup. And with Marcus Morris off the team, that gives Kevin more minutes, and also Ignas will be able to have a sustained role with the Knicks. In return, Marcus Morris can give us a young player and or a late first round pick from a team like the 76ers, Clippers, or Lakers, so we would be much better off starting a bidding war among other win-now teams than keeping him. Number 3, trade Allonzo. I love Allonzo and his game and everything about it, and have absolutely no clue why he isn't playing, yet Wayne Ellington is playing. The only explanation I would have is to increase Wayne's trade value, but the Knicks should be playing Trier instead to raise his trade value. It's kind of a known fact that Trier's been frustrated with his role in the team, and he even tweeted out SMH after the Knicks lost versus the Pelicans, where he only got on the floor for 6 minutes in garbage time, but Wayne Ellington played 13 minutes, went 0 for 4 with 0 points and a plus-minus of -5. I'd be upset too, and he was probably one of the players who told the front office that he would prefer to be traded, so I doubt the Knicks would choose not to trade him since he's going to be a free agent at the end of the season. One trade scenario that would be perfect for him is Trier to the Rockets for 1 or 2 second-round picks. Number 4, trade Wayne Ellington. I don't understand how the Knicks gave this man $8 million a year for 2 years. This man sucks and does not deserve to be on this roster. I don't care what the Knicks do with him, but the 76ers have said they are looking for shooters, and Wayne Ellington is considered a shooter, I guess. Just take him at this point. I'll take anything in return as long as we can get a young player or a player who won't play. I'm still flabbergasted that somehow Wayne got almost double the money than Reggie Bullock, and Reggie Bullock has looked pretty great in his first few games back with the Knicks. Number 5, sign Kenny Wooten. Kenny has received a ton of interest from other teams in the recent days, and the Knicks need to do everything possible to bring him up. Many of you guys may not know who he is, but he plays down with the Westchester Knicks and has looked incredible. With young players in the G League, you need to look for the positives, and he has top-level defensive abilities. He's a 6'8" power forward who has some of the best shot blocking skills that I have ever seen for someone his size. His explosiveness and athleticism is insane, and if he can develop a decent jumper and gain a bit of weight, he will have a long career in the NBA. He's averaging 24 minutes per game, but averages 3.5 blocks during that time frame. As of recent, he has really elevated his play with his scoring and rebounding abilities, and definitely deserves a spot on the Knicks roster. Just watching his highlights right now is incredible, and if just a little bit of this can translate to the NBA, he's going to be a special young player. However, the Knicks power forward position is loaded right now, which brings us to our next move. Number 6, trade Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis has had some great games and some bad ones, but a good way to sum him up is basically the definition of average. He is a solid player, but Mitch and Kenny Wooten deserve minutes instead of him, and it will benefit the Knicks in the long term if they give the two of them minutes instead of Bobby. Bobby has actually received a lot of interest among other teams as well, so if we could fleece a late first/early second from another team in exchange for him, heck, even a young player at a different position, I call it a success. Number 7, play Ignas and start Kevin. The Knicks need to make trades as soon as possible so they can begin to develop their young players for 2 main reasons. 1, obviously so they can develop and get more in-game reps to learn from their mistakes and what they need to improve upon, and 2, so the Knicks can see if some of these young players should be untouchable or if some of them are or are not in their future plans. Ignas and Kevin are 2 of the players that have had their minutes heavily reduced due to the veteran players coming in, so now that hopefully they're gone or not playing as much, Kevin and Ignas will be able to develop and the Knicks can see what they have in them. The Knicks have had a history of hiding their young players behind veterans, so hopefully Kevin and Ignas will not become the next Frank Ntilikina until they have an opportunity due to injury. We saw what Ignas could do in the Summer League and deserves a real role with the Knicks. Number 9, final explanation. The Knicks shouldn't trade DSJ right now because he's still under contract for another year after this one, and his value is just way too low right now. If we can't get a first-round pick for him, maybe even an early second, the Knicks should pull the trigger, but currently his market just isn't that big. Next, I'm a huge fan of Reggie Bullock's game, and Kevin can learn a lot from him, whether it's moving without the ball or coming off screens harder. I'm not worried about Kevin right now because he's gotten better on the defensive side of the ball, rebounding and attacking the rim, but he has struggled with his shooting. I have no doubt in his shooting abilities, and he should become more consistent as he gets more used to the NBA and his shot, so I'm not too worried just yet. Julius Randle has been so much better, and now that he isn't bringing the ball up the floor, he has been so effective finishing at the rim, and his iconic spin move that would lead to a turnover has been vaulted. Other than these changes the Knicks should make, everything should stay the same after the trade deadline, and hopefully the Knicks can add some pieces to their core. Overall, the Knicks season has not gone to plan, but the game versus the Heat yesterday was pretty incredible. Now, before I end the video, I haven't uploaded for the past 2.5 weeks because I've been dealing with a medical issue. These last few weeks have been so crazy, and if I could give you guys any advice just to listen to me, make sure you take care of your health or just are aware of it at least. I promise it will help you in the long run. Now tell me if you guys agree with me on these moves that the Knicks need to make at the trade deadline, or if there are any moves that I left out of this video that you guys want to see. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm pretty excited yet kind of not excited at the same time to see what happens at the trade deadline. So with that said, I'm out and peace!